Jameela Jamil slams the Met Gala honoring Karl Lagerfeld for selective cancel culture. Karl Lagerfeld is a dude who basically says, like, don't be fat, and that Adele was fat, and that's not good, and, like, if you don't want to get groped, don't be a model. He said a bunch of, like, very controversial stuff that it's in his character. But now what she's calling out here is like, look, all of these people who rail against, you know, all of these feminists and all of these proponents of the Me Too movement who suddenly go blind when something like this happens. And this is the number one thing I think of. I'm watching all of this Met Gala crap, and I was complaining the whole night. Like, I complained a bunch because I'm like, look at these entitled, spoil, elitist douche canoes who are out here flexing in these ridiculous outfits while spending the other 364 days of the year pretending to care about regular people. They're not regular people. You will never be regular people. That's fine, but don't pretend like you are, and don't pretend like you understand the plight of regular people. But then these people who support these causes, support Me Too, support feminism, then the Met Gala comes along, and suddenly they're blind to the fact that the guy in charge is what they would glean as problematic. You know
that I think it was either 2021 or the year before that, AOC went to the Met Gala where she wore her famous Tax the Rich dress
that she didn't pay for.
I was just gonna say they opened up, or they are planning to open up, an ethics violation investigation. Yep. Because she got all this free stuff that was worth a ton of money because it's the Met Gala, and getting your hair done is somehow $1,000 for the event.
It's way more than that. Ever since I saw AOC photoshopped with blonde hair, I'm with Dane now. I'm team AOC is hot as long as she's got blonde hair.
She is, but she's still crazy.
Yeah, it's photoshopped with blonde hair. So this is what Jameela Jamil says. She says, last night, Hollywood and fashion said the quiet part out loud when a lot of famous feminists chose to celebrate at the highest level a man who was so publicly cruel to women, to fat people, to immigrants, and to sexual assault survivors. Whoops, I said the quiet part out loud too. Jameela Jamil wrote, all of the women's publications and spectators online chose to gleefully ignore it. And this is where it gets to the really interesting part. She says, suddenly your appetite to find women's tweets from when they were 12 is gone. Nobody has perfect morals, least of all me, but Jesus Christ, we had a year to course correct here and not award the highest honor possible to a known bigot. And then she says, this is the part that I thought was very interesting, and it's very self-aware in a way that I find most of Hollywood to not be. She says, this isn't about cancel culture. It's not even about Karl. It's about showing how selective cancel culture is within liberal politics. In the most blatant way so far, it's about showing why people don't trust liberals because of slippery tactics and double standards like this. Well, everyone knows the saying, if a leftist didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. Right? Like, it's the way it is. And she's right here. She goes, it's not just Hollywood here. The general public online participated and were entirely complicit in the erasure of the truth last night. They replaced their pitchforks with spoons last night to lap that shit up lap that shit right up. If we carry on like this, don't be shocked when we lose the next election. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's like, I don't know if that's the problem. The average person doesn't pay as close attention as they might think. I think the average person is kind of disconnected, but they are unabashedly not unashamed of do as I say, not as I do. And the best description I've ever heard of wokeness is heads I win, tails you lose. Which is really what it is in a lot of ways. Yeah. And they're not afraid of it. They don't care because there's no truth but power. Yep. They don't care that people don't like Karl Lagerfeld as long as they can use that person against them later. Now, if somebody more important comes out later and makes some claim that they want to support, they'll be all too happy to throw them under the bus and pretend like this never happened.
Well, and I want to point out that regular people don't know who Karl Lagerfeld is.
But it's a symptom. This is a symptom of a greater problem, which is that they don't play by their own rules because they don't believe in the rules.
Right,
they believe in power and winning. So he says, this isn't about cancel culture. It's not even about Karl. It's about showing how selective cancel culture is within liberal politics in the most blatant way so far. It's about showing why people don't trust liberals because of slippery tactics and double standards like this. This is something that's very plainly obvious to us, but I kind of am impressed that she's pointing it out, but she's pointing it out in a way where she's saying like, look, like you're making us look bad had, and she's got her principles. I can respect somebody, even if I disagree with them on 90% of issues, somebody who has their principles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the other big dance that they dress up real weird? It's the Met Gala and not
Homecoming.
the award shows. Homecoming, that's funny.
Well, the White House Correspondents' Dinner was
Not-
yeah.
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 There's another one that I'm missing that they also get real weird and go, because this is not elegance for majority of these celebrities. It's a weird fetish Halloween.
It's the sacrifice to Moloch.
Oh,
That's the one where they get really.
Oh yeah, the Bohemian Grove.
I just saw something the other day that said like some local government basically ruled that a local school could have a Satan club. Because like they were gonna not allow a Satan club, and then they're like, yes, you can have your club for Satan.
I think that was Hannah Claire.
Did she write an article about
I'm
that?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Remember there's an old video where there's a guy that got interviewed by I think it was a bit that he was doing, but he was a Satanist and he gave an interview to the local news station. It's actually pretty funny. But he was doing a bit and he was a comedian. The people who are taking this stuff seriously, I remember I was in summer camp one year and this girl comes up to me and given we were young in middle school, but she's like, my favorite colors are black and red because it reminds me of death and blood. And I'm like, oh, nope.
That's like the greatest try hard ever.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
Somebody asked, there's another actress that looks like Margot Robbie. What's her name? It's Emma Mackey is who you're thinking of. Emma Mackey is who looks like Margot Robbie. Look her up. She looks exactly like her. It's crazy. Do you think this is the type of thing where maybe people could learn something from Jameela Jamil? Maybe if people were a little bit more honest about this stuff and we had these discussions. I can respect somebody who disagrees with me politically if they're standing on the principles.
Yeah,
right?
no, 100%.
Like, and they're not willing to sacrifice the women who were the victims of Karl Lagerfeld for the sake of getting dressed up and having some stupid gala.
Yeah.
Like, stand by what you believe in and don't compromise it just because you want to go up and get dressed up and go to the Met Gala. Actually stand by what you're saying.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, I mean, they live in a bubble. They don't think it's weird.
But Jameela Jamil's part of that same bubble.
When you make Harry Styles look normal wearing a dress, you know the whole gala's gone to hell. Like that, and that's what happened this year. Is Harry Styles looked more normal, even though he was wearing like a laced dress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because people are wearing cat costumes, and dude, the dresses are bigger than this table in front of us.
Yeah.
Like. Oh my God! It just reminds me of those stupid fashion shows you see.
The one was the worst. The one lady who was it? Janelle Monáe, who looked like a playground like swing set.
Oh my God!
I used to have a friend that was infatuated with Janelle Monáe.
Here's Emma Mackey and Margot Robbie. I'm going to put it on screen. This is different hair color, so it's actually less noticeable than it would normally be. But yes, they do look quite a bit alike. Jamie Presley also looks like her as well.
Oh shoot, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that quintessential Hollywood blonde bombshell look. That's just like.
I looked up AOC blonde. Yeah, can't confirm.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling
100%.
you.
I'm not even into blondes.
It changes.
You are now.
It changes her, doesn't it? It makes her look different.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Here's a better example of them in this one. Yeah, there we go.
Two different.
Those are two different people.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's.
The Jared Leto thing is so weird, dude. Ugh.
Why does it bother you so much?
Because it's ridiculous, man.
I just think I've angered myself out. I'm just like, these people are stupid.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's granted, I don't know if he's a virtue signaler. I'm only annoyed if you're a virtue signaler.
Jared Leto?
And no, I'm saying like if you're somebody who's like it's kind of like when we were talking about the who was on trial recently for the ski accident. Pepper Potts from Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, she doesn't come off as accessible in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. She looks like a vapid celebrity, but as long as you're not virtue signaling and trying to tell me about how great UBI is, or telling me about how you want equality. Like if you just want to be a rich, snobby, elite person, that's fine as long as you're not virtue signaling to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like rappers talk all day about how rich they are. I don't give a crap.
Right.
It's fine with me.
No, Jared Leto kind of is I would assume he is because, dude, 15, 16 years ago, he was in a 30 Seconds to Mars video talking about climate change. Like, he was in the music video. They had images of them playing on an iceberg or whatever.
Then good. Then down with him at the Met Gala.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's...
I hope that cat suit ends up underwater in 20 years.
You know what I'm noticing is the more the guests at the Met Gala that were more like international celebrities rather than American celebrities were the ones that were dressing normal.
Yeah.
And the Americans have gone off the edge of the cliff of sanity. Man, it's so... You know, the cockroach was probably my favorite part of the Met Gala.
Yeah, the cockroach was the real star.
And everyone was freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, you're in New York City.
There's cockroaches everywhere.
They're everywhere. Come on.
That's funny.
Somebody's saying Samara Weaving in Margot Robbie. I'll have to check this out.
Dua Lipa looked really good, too.
Samara Weaving.
You know who else looks alike is Katy Perry and Zooey Deschanel. Or am I thinking of the right?
Yes,
Emily.
Zooey Deschanel. Emily Deschanel was her sister that was on the show Bones.
Everyone was like, Billie Eilish looks so good, and I don't see it at all. I do not see it at all. She's like kind of repulsive to me.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.